let's talk about something that might hit a little too close to home. It's all about that classic mistake, waiting until the very last night to get things done.
I mean, come on. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. That moment of pure panic, fueled by way too much coffee and a whole lot of regret. Just staring at this mountain of books the night before a huge exam. It's like a rite of passage, but does it really have to be?
And this right here, this quote, it just nails it. Success doesn't come from that last-minute panic. Nope, it comes from preparation. It's a marathon, not a frantic sprint to the finish line. And we're about to see exactly why that makes all the difference.
Okay, so let's rewind. Let's go all the way back to the very beginning of the school year, because that's where it all starts, right? Every success story, and let's be honest, every disaster story really just begins with one simple choice.
So, let's meet our two students. You've got student A, who we'll call the crammer, and then you have student B, the planner. Now, they're starting in the exact same place, same classroom, same everything. But their paths, they're about to split in a big, big way.
And here it is. This is the first and honestly, probably the most important decision they make. Student A just falls right into that super comfortable trap of thinking, I've got plenty of time. It's that little voice of procrastination, you know? And it always sounds so logical at the beginning.
But then you have student B, who makes a totally different call. It's kind of like this quiet promise they make to themselves, right? A commitment to not make the same old mistakes. And that one thought, well, it changes everything.
So when you look at student B's plan, it's actually really simple. Like, there's no magic trick here. It's just these small, consistent actions done over and over. And this is about way more than just being organized. This is actually about how our brains are wired to learn. That daily review, it strengthens the connections in your brain. It's a thing called spaced repetition. And it's so much more effective for remembering things long term than one giant frantic cram session. You're literally building a foundation, brick by tiny brick. All right, let's jump forward a few months. Those little choices they made way back on day one, well, now they've had time to grow and compound, and you can really start to see a gap opening up between our two students.
And for student A, this is pretty much what you'd expect from procrastinating, right? New lessons are being piled on top of a foundation that's, well, it's shaky. It's basically gone. This is where the real stress starts to kick in, because everything feels confusing and the workload just seems impossible.
But then, look at the difference for student B. That same stuff isn't confusing at all. Why? Because every single day's effort built on the day before. That simple daily habit took what could have been a tangled mess of info and turned into a clear, easy-to-follow path. Their brain isn't struggling to remember old stuff, it's just ready for the new stuff. Okay, here we go. The moment of truth is getting close. It is the final week before the exam. This is when all that preparation, or, lack of preparation, really comes to a head. And wow, this contrast just says it all, doesn't it? Our two students are living in completely different worlds. Student A is in total, full-blown panic mode, desperately trying to shove months of material into their brain in just a few days. Meanwhile, student B, they're just polishing. The heavy lifting is already finished. Now it's just about reviewing and feeling ready. So, exam day arrives, and their mindsets could not be more different. Student A walks into that room just filled with anxiety, basically crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. But student B, they walk in with this calm confidence, ready to show what they know. The test isn't something to be scared of, it's a chance to shine. And now, for the big reveal, the part everyone's been waiting for. The work is done, the tests are graded, and it's time to see how it all turned out. The teacher's final takeaway really says everything you need to know. It wasn't about who was naturally the smartest or who pulled the most dramatic all-nighter. Nope. The win goes to the person who put in that steady, consistent effort from the very beginning. So when you boil it all down, what's the secret? It wasn't some heroic, caffeine-fueled all-night study marathon that got the job done. It was the simple, almost boring, act of taking small, manageable steps every single day. That's how you build real knowledge that actually sticks. So the real takeaway here is a pretty powerful shift in how you look at things. It's not about studying harder, it's about studying smarter. And a huge part of that is timing. The most important question isn't really how you're going to study, it's when you're going to start. And the answer to that? It's always right now.